sometimes we have a sneaky beliefs that are holding us back and we don't even know about that. Sometimes it's really hard to spot them, and the best thing when you're a healer, you really start paying attention to what you do and how you sabotage yourself. Because let's be honest, we all sabotage ourselves. I catch myself every single day sabotaging myself, but I know what to do. That's the only thing. I know what to do and I have tools to stop.
Hello and welcome to New Earth Awakening. Today, we welcome to the show Nina Maglic. Nina is a marketer, healer, and international speaker dedicated to helping you create a thriving, healing empire that touches millions of hearts and elevates humanity. Her mission is to give you the training, tools, and support you need to help your clients overcome their challenges, release their fears and doubts, and make the impact you were born to make. Nina, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Thank you, and everybody who's watching and listening. Hello. It's so nice you're here. Welcome.
Thank you, Nina. So, I would like to start by you sharing your path and how it led you to the work you're doing today.
So, yeah, as you mentioned, my name is Nina Maglic. I'm a marketing coach for healers and CEO and founder of Healing Millions. And just a few years ago, I was working in marketing, doing marketing campaigns for Fortune 500 companies and small businesses in Austria. And it was beautiful experience, but then I got really, really sick. I spent 18 months going to the doctors trying to find cure for my pain. I had enormous pain in my belly. I had the cramps, and every time I had a cramp, I was paralyzed for 1 hour, and nobody knew why. I spent a lot of time doing blood tests, body scans, and nothing showed why I had a pain. And there was a moment at the hospital, they told me it's going to take us years to find the root cause of your pain. And I said, I cannot live like this. One more day. I was done. My whole world collapsed, and I was like thinking, it must be another solution. My body is telling me something I don't understand, but I will figure that out. And I left the hospital crying, defeated. And on my way back home, I scheduled a call with an energy healer in LA. And in just 2 sessions, I became pain free. And that changed my whole life. I said, oh my God, I want to know what you know. I want to be able to help myself anytime I need it. I don't want to beg for help. And this is how I started really learning about the energy healing just to help myself. And I start sharing the knowledge, and people so much transformation. They start reaching out to me, recommending me to their friends and family members. And without even realizing, I was booked weeks in advance. And, while I was building my healing business, I was helping other healers build their businesses too. And after 3 years helping them, not charging anything, I really wanted them to succeed. Because let's be honest, I cannot heal the whole world. It's impossible. There's more than enough clients for everybody. 8 billion people, even healers need healing. So I was helping them. And after 3 years, I started saying like, look, I would love to do this professionally. If you know somebody who would be interested in my services, let me know. And all of a sudden, they started recommending me people again. And it was amazing, and everything took off.
Oh, that's a story of self empowerment down there. Love it. So let's talk a little bit about your awakening. And first of all, share with us your own definition of awakening and then your path.
I think my awakening started a long time ago. When I was a child, I was able to do chakra balancing. I learned how to do chakra balancing, but I never understood the power of it. I was playing with my grandmother. She thought we were playing. I thought we were playing. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was 14 years old, and that was it. And it was not really cool to do these spiritual things. Like long time ago, 25 years ago, it was like, what does she do? And I stopped doing it. And I think when I became very sick, I started really learning about energy healing and understanding about myself, because this is what energy healing helps you really understand yourself much better at a very deep level, and understand that you are not the victim of life, that you are creator of your own life. Life is not happening to you, life is happening for you. That was the biggest like awakening for me, that I can create my own life, and that everything I have in my life is just projection, what's happening inside of me. Oh my God, when I learned that, I started really becoming an architect of my life, and I was thinking like, if I want that, who I need to become, what kind of person I need to be to have that. And that's how I started creating my whole life. And my awakening path started by learning, just like tuning into my intuition, to start trusting myself first. And that was the first thing, and being connected with my body. Because let's be honest, we go through our life being numb to our feelings. We don't feel anything. We expect outside the world to tell us how we are supposed to live our life. But inside, deep inside, we know what we want to do and what will make us happy. But, we trust others more than we trust ourselves. And that was the first thing that really helped me shift the whole thing. What do I want? How I want to feel? And everything changed from that moment. Then I started learning about other tools, Akashic records, rays of light, sacred geometry, all kind of things. Like once you get into this world, you're so amazed. You don't want to leave it. It's like, oh my God, let me learn more and more and more, because you feel better and better. And that's the thing. I like energy healing is very experiential. You need to try it to understand what we're talking about. You cannot learn it from the books. You will not really understand when you read from the books, awakening process, all kind of things. You need to do it to really understand what is happening, because our mind needs also proofs. And the best proof for you is when you feel better, when you feel healthier, when you feel happier, and when you wake up with a smile. And that's the best proof for your mind that this is working. And you don't need other people's validation for who you are, what you do. Is like, I don't care. Like, this is my life. This is who I am. Like, you can stay in my life or you can go. That's completely fine. If you stay, I welcome you in my life. But I don't need your validation to be who I am and to do things I love. And that was the biggest awakening process.
That is really an amazing story, Nina. So let's speak a little bit about this self empowerment that you lived through when you realized, oh my God, life is happening for me, for my highest good, basically, right? And I tend to add, life is happening as me as well, right? Which basically is the third law of the Hermetics, the law of attraction. That's how it's known. So, because some people tend to go into victimhood again once they realize, oh my gosh, I am doing this. So basically, how am I doing this mess, kind of? So, how do you help your clients ground a little and go into self trust?
That's a good question. That's a really, really good question. I think the best way is when people have a lot of fear and when they don't trust themselves, the first thing what I would do, like ground them and help them ground as often as possible, because this is the moment they will feel peace. And this is the moment, like, you need to help them get into the body. A lot of people leave their bodies, like a lot of souls leave their bodies when they have a tragic moment. And it's really hard to operate in life like that, because you have to imagine, like, imagine that you're cooking something in your house and you need to take garbage out, and you take a garbage out and then door smashes, the wind smashes door, and they close, and you cannot get inside, but you're still cooking something inside, but you're trying to get in, and it's hard, and you get panic. And this is what is happening with your soul. Like, when it's not in your body, like, it's not really panicking, but it doesn't feel comfortable. And you first thing what you need to do is help a soul get back in the body and ground the person, and help them really feel the sensation in their body. As I mentioned to you, a lot of people don't even trust themselves, and we are numb, like numb to our feelings. And first thing, when you ground yourself, when you get your soul back in your body, and when you guide your clients to feel something in their body, it that's the moment that they start trusting themselves more and more. Okay, I listen my body is speaking something to me. And I think that's a beautiful process. It doesn't happen overnight. It depends. For some people, it can happen instantly if they are ready. For some people, it takes time. But usually in like when you really practice this, I always tell my clients to practice that until next like a session, they start seeing amazing results. And that's it. Basically, the simplest tools are the most effective tools. But we always want to learn something else, more advanced tools, more like, I don't know, all kind of tools. But, just use simple tools to help yourself ground yourself, connect with yourself, and start paying attention to your body. Your body knows, and your soul knows the answer to your life.
Would you like to share one easy tool for the audience right now that they can start practicing right after watching your episode?
Yes, let's do this together. Like, I think that's the fastest thing to do. Like, just take a deep breath, focus on your breathing, close your eyes, and pay attention to the air that's coming into your lungs, and breathe out through your mouth. Start paying attention to the breath, focus on your breath. And just imagine from the base of your spine, there's a beautiful light going straight into the center of the planet and connecting you to the beautiful energy of Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is there to welcome you, support you, love you. Everything what you need is Mother Earth is there for you. And it just allow the beautiful energy from Mother Earth to come back into your root chakra. And also say hello to the sky, to the source, to God, to the universe, however you want to call it. And just imagine beautiful column of light flowing through you from the center of the universe, coming straight to your head, opening your crown chakra and flowing through whole you and going straight in the center of the planet. And that's it. And focus on your breathing, and you will feel that you'll feel calmer, you will feel peaceful, you will start feeling sensations in your body. And start from there. That's the simplest tool, yeah, but the most effective one. And people stop using that because they want all advanced tools, but come back to the most important.
Exactly. Thank you. I love that one. So let's talk a little bit about 5D biz, conscious business, and 5D marketing means to you.
Yes, thank you so much for asking. That's a really good question. From my point of view, is building a business that is based on love and support and care for your clients. And everything what we do, we have to have this client-centric approach to think about what can I do to provide the best results for my clients, the best experience, and the best support for them to heal. So let's be honest, people try to heal. It's not that people want to stay in trauma and pain and cry every single day. People want to be happy. The truth is, we have never learned how to deal with our emotions. We learn so many things in school, but never how to deal with our emotions. And people start journaling, people start meditating, people start doing some work, and all of a sudden, all our feelings are coming up, and you have no clue what to do with that. That's why they need coach, healer to really guide them through the whole process and help them really feel safe to heal, heard, and seen. And very often, when people are going through the healing process, they have a lot of challenges in their private life. They have challenges with their family members, co-workers, friends. So much is going on. And on top of that, they have their own emotions coming up. They have no clue how to deal with that. And our job as a coaches and healers is really to create beautiful space for them to heal, to provide support as they heal. And I truly believe selling one-off sessions is really not beneficial for clients, because very often clients come to us, we start working, we start digging deep. Like every single situation has like layers of pain and suffering. And then client leaves the session and you don't see them for months. And that's really not beneficial for clients. And we cannot solve the client's biggest problems in just one session. Healing takes time. We can't help them become pain-free and have a less pain. But if they want to have a beautiful shift in their life, we need to take them on a journey, because very often what they need is support as they heal, and they need help to build sustainable habits. So when they start working with us, they have these habits to continue working on themselves and continue doing this work. And this is like the whole illuminated experience. I call this like creating everything that is client-centric and based on love. And selling is really not bad. It's not evil. It's just the act of service and help. So helping your clients solve the biggest problems they're praying and hoping to get solved. That's it. People don't want to be in pain. People want to be happy, but they don't know how, because we never learn how to do it. So if you're a coach and healer, this is your job to really help them, offer them this beautiful experience and help them heal. And marketing is also not bad, it's not evil, it's just your tool to tell people what you do and how you can help them. You can be the best coach in the world, but if nobody knows about you, nothing really matters. You cannot help anybody if nobody knows about you. So you need to get out there, share the message. And the only thing what you need to share, like, people are looking for a solution to their life situation, but they need to understand who you are, how you can help them, and what results they can expect after working with you. And it's your job to explain to them in their words they can understand. And very often there's a huge mismatch what healers think is the problem, what clients believe is the problem, because as a healer or as a coach, we have done the work. We know what is the root cause of the problem. We can see that. But clients are not there yet. They truly believe something else causes the problem. Like, my husband drives me crazy, my partner drives me crazy, my boss drives me crazy. There are so many things around that. It's never my fault. But in healing or coaching, we know it always starts with us. And we need to address unhealed wounds inside of us because the other person triggers us. And if you start talking about that, clients might not understand that fully, especially if they are at the beginning of their journey. You need to use their words to explain to them how you can help them. So it's really, everything is client-centric and based on love. This is my invitation for you to help you live better life. And if you say no to me, I'm not mad. It's not your time. You're saying basically no to yourself and no to better life. And I respect that. It's not your time. When your time is right, you'll reach out to me. And I need to stay consistent on top of your mind by sharing value, sharing tips, and being in contact with you. It doesn't mean I have to sell you constantly. That I'm not saying that, but also sharing the values, also giving people tips to have a little bit better life today, you know, and helping them see that they can get results. And the hardest thing in the coaching or healing is really giving people hopes and dreams back, that they can do it. And we can really do that by sharing the value, helping people make these micro steps and change their lives. And then when they see results, they will reach out to you and start working with you.
You're talking about your signature method called Illuminate, right? How did that come to life? How was it born?
Yeah, when people go through really hard times, your offer, what you do, has to illuminate path for them, that they can see it's possible for them. And you can do it by sharing, providing value to them, micro steps, helping them with the micro steps, also sharing testimonials. Because testimonials are not just proof that you can do it and that you're a good coach. Testimonials are there to inspire people because other people see themselves in the stories of others. If they can do it, I can do it too. And that's the thing. And that's the beautiful illuminated experience. I call this illuminated experience is exactly for that reason. When people going through really hard time, you need to be the light for them. And every word you say to them can change their lives. And that's why paying attention to the words you say to them and how you inspire people really, really matters.
Wow, that's really amazing. Illuminate. I like it, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Thank
being
you.
the light bearer. Let's talk a little bit about even this gap that we were just talking about, basically from the 3D, which is fear based, control based, you know, pride, all of that, shame, and how to elevate a business into 5D, into unconditional love. Like, what is your general take on that?
Yes, that's a really good question. I think the first step is actually really getting clear what do you want, how you want your business to be, and how you want to feel around your business. And it really starts with you. And this is something that so many people skip. And they start building businesses according to someone else's dreams, someone else's beliefs, and someone else's goals, and they forget about themselves. And one day they wake up and say, I really don't like this. And it really starts with you. What do you want? How you want your business to be? Who do you want to serve? What is your soul client? And how you want to serve them? Is it like through membership, high ticket coaching call, one-on-one programs, group programs, digital courses, whatever that is? You need to get crystal clear how you want to serve them. Is it maybe a retreat? You want to organize retreats and invite your clients to that? That's okay, but you need to know what makes you happy, what will make your clients happy, what will bring them results. And the next step is really to create an offer for them. And I call this an illuminated offer that really is so irresistible for people, that provides the best results, best experience for them, and also best support for them to heal. And really thinking about what would make my clients the best results and in the fastest possible way. And sometimes people get like stuck in this process because they think they need to deliver everything by themselves. And that's not true. You can always hire people to help you guide your clients so that your clients has the best support. And really think about who can be who can be the person who can deliver the best results for your clients. And really, sometimes you need to create a beautiful ecosystem for them to really feel safe and um, supported and heard and seen and to heal. I will give you an example. When I had my mentorship program, I had a medium coming to my program and giving people readings because I noticed that a lot of people lost their loved ones and they couldn't move forward because of that wish. I wish I could have said that. I wish, my loved ones were here for me. And I invited medium, and when she delivered messages to them, they had profound healing. So we need to always think about what would be the best for our clients and create an offer for that client. Some people will say to me, but I cannot guarantee results. You always need to think about, if you have your soul client, your ideal client, if they show up for the work and do the work, they need to get results and really design about the specific offer for them. And then, of course, you need to sell it and you need to get visible. Like, like nobody's going to knock on your door if they don't know about you. You need to get out there and really share the message and tell people how you can help them and what kind of results they can expect from you. And it's really based on love. I have my mantra that is called like, good for your clients, good for you, and good for society. I also donate percentage of the income to support different charities, to support women in developing countries, to give scholarships. So there's always way to create a business that is rooted in love, that is based on love and support and care. And yes, we need to charge for the work we do, because if we want to serve broader masses, we need to have money for that. I have my YouTube channel. I give a lot of tips. I give a lot of I share a lot of value there so people can watch it for free. But I also have my high ticket program for people who want to explore and work with me closely, because I also need to support those people who don't have resources for that. So if you design the whole world that is really self-serving and that it serves a lot of people, I think this is the business based on love and support and care. And yeah.
I really love the part of giving back, basically, and also encouraging people who are in a difficult situation. And sometimes I realize that this charity just pours out of our hearts because we understand specific contexts and situations, and we have a deep compassion, maybe sometimes out of our own experience. So I would like to ask you about your own experience with Bosnia and all of that, which sparks a light that is brighter inside of you.
Yes, thank you so much for that question. I think it's a really, really important. I have to be very honest. At the beginning of my healer career, I had a really, really hard time charging money for doing energy healing work because, we were raised not to charge for helping people. You do this for your friends. And I remember I had a conversation with one of my clients, and she argued with me for 10 minutes that I need to take money. I said, okay, I will take money. And I took all money and I donated fully to feed 100 kids in an orphanage in Bosnia. And that changed my whole life. I said, oh my God, what we can do if we have more money? If money is in good hands, what can we do? And for me, it's always important that I never forget where I come from. I was born in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and it was really challenging place to live, especially during the war that we had. But I never forget that where I come from and what can I do for people. I also never forget that somebody believed in me when I came to Austria and they gave me a chance. And this is the light I want to be for somebody who is out there thinking, oh my God, I'm stuck in my life and I don't know what to do. I want to be that light. I want to give people chances to do something better in their life. I also have a lot of I have a charity programs because for me, it's really, really important that building a wealth just to keep it to yourself is not really fun. Like what can I mean? What I mean really by that, you cannot drive 10 cars, you cannot live in 10 apartments. It's crazy, But what I really love to do is really giving back to community. And for me, the best reward is when I got messages and letters from an orphanage and with kids writing me, thank you so much for changing my life. And what we also have, we have our Spark of Joy initiative, where different healers from all around the world provided resources for kids to heal. It's free of charge for all kids around the world. You just need to request it, and we give you resources for kids to heal. This is the initiative called Spark of Joy, because I truly believe that if we start healing earlier, it's going to change the whole world. And, if we start now bringing more healing, more love, more peace to the world, can you imagine how our world could look like in 50 years from now? It's going to be unrecognizable. And this is what we want to do. We also, all my money collected from the book launch is going to be fully donated to Children's Hospital St. Anna, Children's Hospital Vienna, that is focused on helping kids with the cancer. So and also for people who cannot afford some of my services, I also provide a lot of value, provide a lot of courses, a lot of workshops that are free of charge to help them really start with their business and do the work they love. And yeah, this is how I do because I never forget who I was. It's nice that I'm here right now, but I never forget that I was that child in the war, that I was hopeless, that something could even change in my life. I was stuck in my business, but I also was a person who came to Austria with 800 euros in my pocket. I thought I'm rich. Seriously, I thought I'm rich. And I paid for my room at the dormitory. I paid for my semester fee and I had 10 euros left. I was like, oh my God, I need to figure this out. And I was too proud to tell my dad, you were right. 800 euros are not a lot of money. But, I was too proud that as I said, I will figure that out. And, you know, I was able to go through my life because somebody gave me a chance. And I want to be that life for other people so they can have a chance to create better life.
It's awesome, and in all of that you just said, it's just about taking the history and instead of calling it traumatic or whatever it is and getting stuck into it and spiraling down, it's about taking it and empowering yourself and saying, this teach me this and that. And therefore, I'm going to be that light now for other people as well. So I love that. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you so much. That's exactly, we can be victim of life, or you could say, like, let me do something different. Let me change things because we have a choice. We really have a choice what we are going to do with our past. We cannot change the past, but we can change how we react to our past. And that changes everything.
Exactly. Right. Awesome. So let us talk a little bit more about healing. What is your own personal definition of healing?
Well, that's a good question. My personal definition of healing is being liberated from my past, from my pain, from, yeah, from people around me. I don't need their approval to live my life. And also, what I mean by healing is we all have moments in our life that we wish they never happened. Like we all have challenges in our life. But when you do healing, you get this beautiful feeling that you can go back to your past and not feel attached to your past. And that's for me liberation. That's for me the biggest liberation, being free from my past, being free from my pain, being free from who I was once. I still remember one of my first healing sessions with that lady that helped me become pain free. Um, she said to me, "You need to let things go." And I said, "Oh my God, if I let things go, I will not be me. That's part of me. I cannot do that." I wish I can go back to that time to tell my younger self, you need to let go to become, because you are not your stories, you are not your past, you are not your pain, you are not all of that. You have a choice to be something else today and someone else today, and that changes everything. You need to let go of all these stories we are telling ourselves. That basically they are not even our stories we are telling ourselves, but we are repeating them all all the time. I need to be a certain way. I need to be a certain way because we were taught to be a certain way. But wait a second, that's being a certain way doesn't make me happy. Let me discover what makes me really happy. And that's the beautiful healing journey that we are on, letting go of past and choosing who we want to be and what will make us happy today and working on that.
Exactly. So I love that you are already touching on ego identifications, this identity kind of stuff. Like the nationality seems to be one that is always out there, kind of for a lot of people. Like where they were born is like, oh my God, the mega identification. And other identifications like whatever the person studied or worked as or works as, and those kind of stuffs, and things, um, which is basically exactly what you're saying. Like you need to let go of the identifications, because at the end of the day you are nothing of that. There is ego identification, and on the other hand, your spark, your special effects. You know what I mean? Carl Jung spoke about this, yes? So, how do you put together ego identification versus individuation?
I know what you mean. Yeah. I think that's a really good question. I think a lot of people have that when they start the awakening process, when they start changing their career and doing something they love, there's ego whispering, like, you need to do this, you need to do this, but you don't feel happy and you need to change things. And that's exactly what happened to me when I was a marketer. I was working in marketing and campaigns for big names. And then, I became a healer. It took me 1 year to post something on LinkedIn that I'm a healer now. Oh my God, it was really challenging for me. But one of my clients called me out. She said, like, how can you help your clients when you have so much fear of being exposed and being on social media? And she was right. She was so right. And I realized if I want to build a business that is going to touch millions of hearts, I need to work on myself and my own challenges. And when I posted finally on LinkedIn that I'm a healer, that I have a new business, I received positive comments. But something magical happened. I received a card from my master thesis mentor, one of my first bosses. She was dean at university, and she wrote me a card, and she said, "It looks like you found your calling. What can you wish for more?" And I cried like a little baby because I realized that the only person standing in my way was me. It's really me, nobody else. So when you fully embrace who you are, first of all, this is what is going to happen. People already know that you're spiritual, that you're doing your work. And the second thing is people love seeing happy people. And some people will leave your life, and that's fine too. They were not meant to stay with you for life. They were meant to stay for a season. That's okay. And what is going to happen, you will attract new people that are going to match your vibration and your frequency. That's the first step that happened to me. And then like then I still battled with my ego, because I was a healer, I was a marketer, I was doing all things at the same time. I was thinking, my healer identity doesn't have to do anything with marketing. I kept them separately. And then I realized that's a nonsense. The moment when I fully embrace who I truly am and embrace that I'm a marketer, I'm a healer, I can do both. And everything changed for me. My whole world shifted, and people start seeking me not only for healing, not only for marketing, but doing both for them. And that changed everything.
Embracing all parts of yourself.
It's a process. I have to say it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. But the more you work on your fears and think about the truth is we have a lot of fears attached to that, like coming out of closet, showing people who we really are, because this is what we learned as we grew up. And the moment when you go back and ask yourself, why do I have this fear? What I'm trying to protect myself from? And you will find out there were stories you tell yourself. And those stories were made 20, 30, 15 years ago. And just start challenging those stories. Are they true? Maybe they were true at that moment, but are they still true? And you will find out that 99% of these things we are telling ourselves are not even true anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, ask questions.
Yes.
Be like a 5-year-old. Why and why?
And why again?
Exactly. And what if it was the total opposite? Let's think about that one.
Yeah, be curious, be playful, and enjoy, and start really questioning everything.
Exactly. Enjoy. Yeah, I think this is very joyful when you start asking those questions. If you have a little bit of sense of humor at some stage, you will be just laughing.
Yes.
So, Nina. So, let's talk a little bit about this healing that you went through that started basically with your physical healing on a physical level and then went deep into every layer. So, what were those belief systems that you needed to let go of? You just talked about one of them, like this has nothing to do with that. But if it's inside of me, it's it's another part, and I need to integrate. But what were those belief systems that were holding you back a lot, and how did you deal with that?
Yeah, sometimes we have a sneaky beliefs that are holding us back and we don't even know about that. It's sometimes really hard to spot them, and the best ways, the best thing when you're a healer, you really start paying attention to what you do and how you sabotage yourself. Because let's be honest, we all sabotage ourselves. I catch myself every single day sabotaging myself, but I know what to do. That's the only thing. I know what to do, and I have tools to stop and prevent myself and really recenter myself. Um, that's one thing. I think the biggest belief that I needed to let go of, that I'm a victim. That's big one. That I can be creator, that's another one. And, fear of judgment, what other people will think about you. The truth is people don't even think about us. Everything is in our head. If we really want to overcome that fear of judgment, we need to look at judge inside of us and heal that. Because very often we are projecting things on the outside world. So that's the another thing, the really fear of judgment and fear of, you know, fear of being exposed. Sometimes when you start doing this work, of course you need to share your personal story, and you need to tell people what you went through. Sometimes it can be challenging, especially at the beginning. Oh my God, do I share too much? Or how can I do it? Like the thing is, you share what you feel comfortable sharing, and you share things that could inspire people. I personally don't have anything to hide. Like I shared all my whole journey with my audience because I think it's important that you say healing is not really easy. Sometimes, it's easier than we think, but it's not still easy. You need to have a courage to face your fears. You need to have a courage to go back in your past and see the things. And you're telling yourself, I think the hardest thing to face is not our enemies, is ourselves. That's the hardest thing to face because, very often, like, there are things we don't want to deal with, but you need to deal that because they are keeping you stuck. And that's the thing. You need to be really willing to explore what is really holding you back. And the fastest way to see is what is happening in your life. Is the life you have right now, is this what you want? If not, something is holding you back. And let's explore that.
I love that you talked about projections because we're also talking about business and both go hand in hand sometimes. Like, when you're building a team, right? Like you're building your own company, you want to work with other people together. You need people sometimes to help you out with different tasks. Yes. And so, how do you personally deal with projections in your own company? Because everybody is mirroring each other, all the fragments that have not been embraced yet fully. So, how do you deal with projecting your ideas about someone onto someone so that you won't do that?
I try to protect myself from myself. I just want to be honest. I have rules for myself that I need to follow in order for me to protect myself from sabotaging myself. And the fastest way to do it, I'm very clear on my expectations when I hire people. I hire people, I explain to them everything what I want them to do, and I give them clear guidance how to solve specific tasks, how to do it. But I also give people power to do it their way. I don't want to micromanage them. I just want to, this is the task. Please finish by that deadline, and that's it. I will review your work. I will give you feedback, but you need to take responsibility for your work and do your work. That's the way how I deal. And I have a specific guidance. I'm honest and upfront before I hire anybody. I give people small tasks, and then I see how they deal with that. And I just want to be honest. Sometimes you will feel like people want to do the work, but sometimes that's not the right work for them. And sometimes it feels like a liberation when you let people go. And I had a VA. He was really an amazing person, but he was really fully booked with other clients. And when I let him go, he was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. This was a huge relief." I like for him. And you need to be honest with that. Both parties can decide if we are the right fit, if we have the trial period. But sometimes it's really just paying attention to what you do, how you train people. I love to give people, I spend a lot of time onboarding people, so I don't have to train them every single day. So this is what I do. I have a strict guidelines, and that's it. We just follow the guidelines, and everybody knows what they need to do.
Love what you just said because that ties into each one of us being sovereign in ourselves, having our own toolkit available to us. And it's just the difference is just utilizing the toolkit and having the toolkit in the first place, right? Because you needed to learn that also in the beginning. Yeah.
Yes.
As you said, nobody teaches us on how to deal with our emotions, how to deal with other people, you know? So exactly. I love that so much. So, you want to talk a little bit about healing millions. Please show us the cover and how it came into life.
Yes, this is the cover of my book. It's called Healing Millions. Heal, earn, and impact millions by doing the work you love. Even if you start from scratch and have zero audience and business experience, it's a really step-by-step guide. This cover was made by love. It's full download how I wanted this cover to be. The heart and the butterflies. This is the also logo of my company, exact heart. And basically, what that mean is we need to be light and offer this healing with love. And all these butterflies are people who are transformed by our light. And I offer people healing, but it's up to them if they want to take it. So everybody wakes up in their own divine timing, and we need to respect that as well. So that's the very important thing for me. I offer you healing with love. It's up to you if you want to change your life. And if you want, this is the beautiful butterfly that you can become. And this book was really written, it's a labor of love. And what I love about this book is I give people a lot of like step-by-step guides, like what to do in their business and how to make progress in the business, but I also give them rapid action section where they need to do certain things. They can download sheets, they can download workbooks, they can implement things. And this is what I teach them. I also have like everybody who buys the book, I give them implementation workshop for free to really help them implement that. We have this workshop on June 16, 17, and 18 live with me. I answer every question they have because I really want people to succeed and get results. And as I mentioned, like there's a lot of like you just need to scan QR code to download things to get access to workbooks, worksheets, and everything what you need. And yeah, this is my labor of love for humanity. And this book is really not about me. This book is about creating movement to, because as I mentioned, like I cannot heal millions alone. I need you. And that's my soul mission to empower you so you can do more good for the world, bring more peace, more healing, more love to the world, and together we can heal millions. That's the whole mission of the book. And all money collected from the book are going to be fully donated to Children's Hospital, Sant'Anna Children's Hospital in Vienna, dedicated to helping kids with the cancer. I decided to do it that way because, as I mentioned, like I always wanted to have a company that makes an impact, not only profit. I help you, you help me, we all help society. And that's the whole business model I teach in the book and like how to give back to society and how to. I also talk about ethics in healing because I think it's very, very important. I teach you a lot of powerful tools, a lot of marketing tools. This book can be applied to any business, not only to healing business, coaching business, consulting business, but to 80% of businesses out there. And my only ask is use it for good purposes. Use it to serve the world, to bring peace and healing to the world, and only take clients that are ready for healing. Because there's no point in taking clients who are not ready for healing. People need to be ready to heal. And there's also special section ethics in illuminated marketing, and I talk about this in the book.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, the last question would be your highest vision for the new earth.
My highest vision for New Earth, I'll tell you what I wish for you. I wish you to touch millions of hearts with your story and with your vision, and to bring awakening and love to people who need that most. That your message is a healing message they need to hear, to be the wake up call for them, and to understand that they can do things differently. They don't have to suffer. How long, like everybody goes through like mud, but it's up to you how long you're going to stay in mud. You can stay like the next 5 minutes or the next 50 years. It's really up to you. And I really want you to inspire more people, to touch more people, to move more people, to bring healing and peace to the world. So together we can heal millions.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
And people can find your links down below. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.